Hi Piano Cats, my name is Denis Zhdanov and today I would love to share with you a few ideas about a Chopin Etude Opus 10 number 12. Besides the fact that this is one of the most famous piano pieces, its example allows me to show you a lot of things and tricks which might be useful in many other piano pieces. When working on some virtuoso work, you might have noticed sometimes that although you can play a piece really well, it's difficult to play a piece many times in a row without being tired and without losing the quality. Most probably this happens not because the piece is difficult for you, but because you make it difficult for yourself, overworking with your fingers and having a tension in your body which is not necessary. Speaking about technically demanding pieces, we often use terms like stamina, endurance, which one should presumably develop in order to withstand a difficulty. But if you want, let's say, to improve your financial situation, you can't work much more indeed, for example, 30 hours a day, because we have only 24 hours. So in order to improve our financial situation, we need not only to work more or to find a better job, but also to cut unnecessary expenses as well, if we have any. The same principle works for piano playing. So a part of my highly subjective interpretational ideas, I will give you some tips how to spend less energy without losing the artistry. So let's check out what we can do with that piece. So the very first and very basic thing, but I nevertheless going to say that, there are many passages in this piece, and the most important thing is not to play them loud. Instead, we release the hand in the middle section of each passage completely, with crescendo in the end of the passage if necessary. Playing all the way loud doesn't bring any dramatic effect here. Now, these leaps might be really uncomfortable for some people, and it really helps if you break them in two separate movements. And it helps a lot to release your wrist completely while you're holding the first chord with your fingers and make a leap as a separate movement. And after this chord, I go a little bit slightly up with my wrist. And then I go down using the down trajectory. So basically it's all about your wrist movement. Now there are many long chords and notes, and I would really hold them with the hand as long as it's written. Why I think this is important? Because this piece clearly has a very dramatic character, this is obvious. And a real drama, which would emotionally convince us, should have some resistance. And lasting chords create this effect. But playing them shortly creates the danger of a light mind and bravura. Of course, this is my subjective opinion, and if you have your own artistic vision which contradicts to what I have said, feel free to disregard this information and stand for your ground. This goes probably more towards the psychology of music, but I do really believe that when we hold the chord with a hand, we actually listen to it better. And the true magic in music, as we know, happens not when we hit the key, but when we listen to the lasting note so intensively that the listener starts to listen to it with us. For example, the third chord of this piece would convey an abrupt and acute character only if we would hold the two previous chords. But of course, while holding it with hand, I will nevertheless release the tension in my hand. So. The main motive of this piece confuses me sometimes, because I usually hear forte, which is written here, but almost never a real physical crescendo, which is, upon my humble opinion, is much more important to convey the dramatic character of the piece. The problem is that the higher register of the piano has its dynamic limits. So in order to convey an overwhelming aspiration or exclamation in this motif, we really shouldn't start that loud. Otherwise, it sounds a bit like a... It's also important that your left hand is not too loud, so it has enough room for crescendo. Because this register, again, is louder, is more powerful than this one, actually. So in order to make this crescendo to the up, we really need to play softer everything after the bass note. And mark only last 3 notes, basically. Otherwise, this crescendo sounds heavy and costs a lot of muscle effort. But with this strategy, you will need even less effort than pressing subscribe and like buttons under this video. But this effort is really important. In this bar, I would really love to crescendo this note, to feel how it heats up during the bar and bursts. But I can't do a physical crescendo on one note. Instead, I can create an illusion of crescendo in my right hand by using my left hand. Then the articulation is really important, and in order to show it, I will reasonably use wrist movements up and down. I allow my hand a free fall sometimes, cushioning the shock with my wrist. Thus, I can play really strong accents without any effort. In bar 26 and 27, this stretto and sforzando will be even more explosive if we will really tenuto each chord before. If you have any difficulties with your left hand in the next section, make sure you change your hand positions simultaneously with the thumb and not later. Especially during the leaps to the bass note, we need to spread our fingers really rapidly while playing a note with the thumb and not later, like a crazy octopus spreading his legs, hands. In general, try learning any tricky passages through comfort, releasing all fingers immediately after the attack. If you learn them with a tensed hand, using a lot of muscle effort, you teach your body to be stressed. In the bar 37-40, I would really make difference between 2 accents, because the second one is obviously much more alarming, and we have to show a harmony change. Now, this arpeggio might be not very comfortable, and it's always a pity to miss that upper D. So what I do in such places, I divide them in 2 elements. So I play those 3 notes faster and lighter, and I separate the last one and play it with a very stable 5th finger. By the way, I will publish a special video about the 5th finger soon, because you can't imagine how its stability can improve your piano playing. So don't forget to check it out. Last 2 bars clearly provoke us to slow down, because we have so big, epic chords after such a swift passage. But I think that the piece will actually benefit very much if we resist the temptation to slow down here, because I believe that this last musical rest after the last chord, this sudden deafening silence at the end, is our real destination here. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you found something useful for yourself. All this is very new for me, And creating a good video content is not an easy task for a newbie like me. Some videos I was rewriting like 3 times because I was obviously doing very stupid mistakes. But if you think that this project is useful, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it. And you can even support this channel with a symbolical donation on Patreon. This would allow me to create even better both educational and artistic content for you guys. So this is it for today. Till next time, and have fun playing piano.